Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Evolution League Racing. We are back for round number 7 of the season, taking place in Suzuka, Japan. And qualifying is just getting underway. We're a few minutes in to the qualifying session, and Spitfire Boy's taking us around the lap for the time being. He's heading up the S's out of turn number 7. I've made a few changes to the recording, so hopefully or the settings of the stream, so hopefully everything is running smoothly. I am going to check that on my phone, actually, just make sure everything is running as it should, because I'm a little bit scared because I upped the quality, hoping it'll make things look nicer. And let's just make sure everything's running smoothly. For the time being, it looks alright from what I see on my phone. Seems to be running fairly smoothly. We've got Spitfire Boy just taking us through Spoon Curve at the moment. Although he's not got very much battery left as he heads down into the final chicane. He's going to be in a bit of trouble once he gets there. 1:11.2 in the first couple of sectors. Spitfire Boy's going to be the first driver to complete a lap. Going to get stopped for the final chicane. The Casio Triangle rotated around. And he's going to accelerate as early as he can. Round the last corner. A little bit of desync there. As he comes across the line, it's 1:28.1. That won't be a pole position contending lap, I can tell you that much. I don't know what sort of times we'll be seeing later on in the session, but I can tell you that one is not going to put him on pole position. Olimbuoda! He's crashed at the second Degner. He's gone off his 27.0 from tyre to put himself in provisional P1. Rivs Racing taking us through the first couple of corners as well. We've only got, what, 8 drivers taking part in qualifying then? Because Limward crashed. And we got 3 quali bans, one of which has already been served. The other 2, I think, are just going to be waiting in the garage. Chaz just starting his first lap as well. Shark's still in the box, as are a few others. It's quite a short lap at Suzuka, all things considered. It's not, at least in terms of lap time, it's not too bad. Oh, it's a bit of a slide from Rivs Racing. He goes wide at Spoon Curve, and he loses the lap there and then. Rivs Racing will not be setting a time to the leaderboard, or at least not that one, as he's gone off at Spoon, backed off, and will likely go again at another time. And I think Magic has done something similar, having run out of fuel without a lap being set. Quite possibly then invalidating the first run. A few more drivers are going to be heading back into the pit lane. Charles are coming down into Spoon Curve, as well as we currently have Claudio coming across the line to begin his first run of the session. He takes us through the S's, up the hill. It's interesting what wings people are going to run today, because there is quite a disparity of what you can run at this circuit. It's a 28.9 from Chazza to go into P1, although he's 2 seconds off what Toya has done so far. And you'd imagine Toya is a slight favourite for pole at this stage, but there are a few drivers that could get up in the mix if they get a good lap in, especially with this, current condition of this grid. Claudio heading up into Spoon Curve, the double left-hander, 2 apexes. There's the first, here's the second. It is officially classed as 2 corners. There are some of a similar fashion which are just classed as one big one. But I suppose you need 2 separate braking zones. It kind of does lend itself to being 2 corners. 1:11.2 from Claudio in the first couple of sectors. He's still got a decent bit of battery left, though, as he heads down into the Casio Triangle of the final chicane. 16 and 17. Rotates back on the power as soon as he can. And that's burning that last bit of battery. He's not quite burnt enough in the end, as he has some spare across the line. So 1:28.7. And again, it's not close to what Ty's managed. But his pole deficit's reduced to 1.7 seconds rather than 2. And it's all quiet again, as most drivers have gone back into the pit lane. Rivs Racing has come out again on a new set of tyres, taking us through the hairpin of turn number 11 is the Red Bull driver. Getting those tyres up to temperature. It's not a tyre, you don't need to work it out too hard to get some temp into the front Suzuka. You don't want to be too harsh on them, don't want to start with too much tyre wear. Ideally you want really 2% is the max you want. You want as little as possible, of course, but the less wear you have to do to get that, the better. Rivs Racing takes us through the final chicane, and he's going to start his second run of the session, and he's going to hope he completes it this time as he heads into turn 1, looking to get somewhat close to his teammate out front. Takes us through turn 1, he gets back on the power, again into the S section, goes down into medium ERS. You can very viably use none through this section and still get more than enough performance just with that little bit extra battery recharge. Before he takes us up the hill, it's going to be in the first sector, 32.0. He's going to get it stopped and rotated for the second Degner, not hitting the wall unlike Liam Wilder earlier on, before he comes into the hairpin of turn number 11. Back up into third gear for the traction zone, back on the power as soon as he can, and now he's blasting up the hill towards turns 13 and 14. It's the high-speed left-hander of Spoon Curve. Slight brake for Rivs Racing. Is not going with the approach, which is very viable as well, of just coasting it through the corner. He rotates it through Spoon and gets back on the power as he heads all the way down. Through into 130R, so 110.6. Looks a lot better than some of the things we've been seeing so far. He's going to get it stopped for the final chicane. Rotate it as well as he can. Keeps it within the white lines before he comes around the final corner. Is going to put his foot down with the DRS. Across the line he goes. It's a 128.1. Still Toy's margin. Sits at a second. And obviously he was the favourite for pole in this race, but I'm not sure if I would have expected it to be by such a huge margin. As Magic's also taking us through turn 14 of Spoon Curve. Got 130R approaching, leaving about 20% battery for that blast to the line. Moves back down to medium ERS for the corner. Rotates it through. Back on the power again. And there's the blast to the line. Going to run out of battery a little bit before making it to the line. It's a 127.8 to go into P2. The first driver to set a time within a second of that provisional pole. People actually heading out now. Should be interesting. Charlotte's gone for... she's gone out for the first time, and so we'll be saving a set of softs for the race, seemingly. Which is interesting, because I don't think you... I don't know. I can't imagine a two-stop being the greatest strategy here. Maybe with some safety cars. And the medium hard is a perfectly easy one-stop. So I don't think... Is there a... Would the soft medium work? I don't know. I'm not sure I like that idea. And a soft medium would just be slow because you can't overtake. Oh no, this will be interesting. Because she's definitely saving a set of softs for the race. That being said, she heads through the last corner and is just starting a second lap. Spitfire Boy takes her through the first sector as well. He's currently sitting in P6 with a 128.9. We'll be looking to improve upon that later on in the session. He's a bit under a tenth up. As he comes through Sector 1, he goes wide and invalidates. And that's his lap gone. As he goes too wide, takes too much of that inside curb. It pushes him out wide. And he's invalidated. I think Claudio got stuck behind Rav in front of him. I'm not sure. Claudio's backed off. I don't know what's caused that one. He did seem to be awfully close to the Williams that was just in front of him. So let's see what Charlotte's got up to as she's heading into Spoon. Rides through the left hand of the second part of the corner. Back on the bow she goes. And we get not really a toe from the Ferrari. Almost making contact as she kept as tight to the left as she could. Into 130R. Gonna have to watch out for the Williams up in front. Ran a little bit wide on the exit of 130R. The Williams just there in front of her shouldn't be too much of an impairment. As she comes around the last corner, we'll get a little bit of a toe as she crossed the line. So 127.8 pretty much matches what Magic did. And goes into P2 with her first and so far only lap of the session. I think Rav's pushing. And that's concerning because Charlotte is not. And she's just like right on his tail. Yeah. I believe that's Red Bull heading out again, but it's not Toyota, it's Racing. With 4 minutes to go. It is heading out onto the track. For what will be his final outing to the circuit. I don't know if Toy is just completely happy and he's gonna stay in the pits. I mean, fair enough to him. What's my PB here? I'm trying to remember. I think it's a low 26. Yeah. My personal best at this track is 26.2. I've not been able to deliver upon that in a session as Charlotte goes awfully deep, reacting to Rav being slow in front of her. Rav crossing the line has just done a 133.9 to go 5 seconds off. So, Riz Racing and Magic, the two of the drivers who have just gone out at this stage for what will be their final runs. So far, they're yet to be joined. Rav's still out there. Out of the pits does come Toya, so he's not going to settle for pole on a banker. He does want to set an actually somewhat decent time. Riz Racing takes us through the first couple of corners. And into the S section we go, following along with the Red Bull, twitching at that rear end ever so slightly as he rotates the car through. On board with him now as he heads up the hill. We can see as he ends the first sector how much he is improving, or perhaps not, by as he's 3/10 up through sector 1 alone to set him on the right trajectory to get right up there with Toya's first run. Heading into the hairpin of turn number 11. He's going to want to get back on the power as soon as he can because it's going to affect his run all the way down this straight into not into 130R, into Spoon, the double left-hander. Which then, in turn, sets up his run for the end of the lap. Riz Racing through Spoon. Seems to have got it through nicely and cleanly. Back on the power again. And using that last bit of battery, he's going to blast his way down into the chicane of the Casio Triangle. He's using a lot more on this occasion. He's 2.5 tenths up. He may even run out before he gets to the line as he's going to get under braking for that final chicane. Rotates the car through. And back to the power again. He uses the last little bit of that ERS. He crossed the line. So 27.9. And it can't get him into the top 3. He's going to stay in P4, but that should be quite a comfortable P4. He's got a solid gap behind him. But Toya is now just preparing that final run as he takes us through the final chicane. Obviously, he looks set to take pole position regardless of what happens on this run. Spitfire Boy's half a second up on his personal best at this stage, which would put him up into P5 as things stand. But following along with Toya, currently on provisional pole, who looks to be very comfortably on course for this pole position. But let's see what he can do on this final run. Heading up the hill to the end of the first sector. And he's a 10th up on his personal best through Sector 1. A bit of a lock-up through the second Degner, but it's not going to affect him too badly. Spitfire Boy posted the 5th fastest time of the session so far. Magic hasn't improved. He's going to stay in that net P3 for the time being. Could very well be displaced. Charlotte as well has gone off up there, hit of turn 7, crashed into the wall, and she's not going to be improving. But realistically, I don't see anyone getting into those positions of 2nd and 3rd. Toya now takes us down. As I'm just going to turn my microphone down because I see it's clipping a little bit. Toya's 2.5, close to 3/10 up as he heads into the final chicane of 16 and 17. He's going to get it stopped, rotated, back on the power with the remaining battery that he's got to take him up to the line. Where it's a 1:26.7 as your pole time. Claudio 7/10 up on his personal best, which could see him up into the top 4, maybe even more if he's got some time remaining in this final sector. Claudio across the line, loses a little bit in the last split to only go P5. It's Toya on pole. Charlotte in 2nd place. Magic in 3rd. Rivs Racing, Claudio, Spitfire Boy, Chazza, and Rav rounding off those that took part in qualifying. 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th. Mr. Quota, Liam Wilder, Ian, and Sammy. None of those got a lap in this session. And we await the race to get underway. It should be beginning rather shortly. At this stage, we've got Mr. Quota and Ian looking to work their way through the field. Liam Wilder looking to recover from the really worst case scenario qualifying session for him. And Sammy, don't really know what to expect. Just see where he can get to from the back of the grid. Obviously, Ian and Mr. Quota will be aiming to challenge for the race win, especially if they're safety cars. That will work in their favour. Any safety car works in the favour of those at the back. And here we go. The formation lap is underway here in Suzuka, and everyone, bar Limwalder, has opted to start on the yellow walled medium tyres. Could work in his favour. What has gone on here? Well, could work in Limwalder's favour if we see a late safety car. But who knows? Who knows what we'll see in this race. Expect the back four to make up positions. Especially Mr. Spitfire Boy and Rav have collided on the formation lap. Put them both back onto the grid. Who's that Red Bull? That's Ribs Racing. Where's Mr. Quota off to? Mr. Quota's on a mission. Has he just made contact with Charlotte? Yes, he has. Yes, he very much has. Mr. Quota and Charlotte have made contact. What is going on this formation? What is going on this formation lap? Can you guys stop crashing into each other, please? For like 5 seconds. Half the field has hit someone on the formation lap. Right, so that's okay. Well, so half the field is going to be on cold tyres. They'll make it interesting. Mr. Quota will be wanting to work his way through. He's going to be on cold tyres. Well, that's interesting. But Toya is just parking it on the grid. After which point, the race start can begin. It's only 6 cars to park up. Shouldn't take too long. And here we go. The fire red lights ahead of the Japanese Grand Prix. 27 laps out of the drivers here tonight. And his lights are out. And away we go. And Toy gets a good start. And he will comfortably lead them away into turn 1. Charlotte looks a little bit under pressure from the second Red Bull of Ribs Racing, who thinks about it on the inside. Doesn't go for the move. Going off in the background. That's Chazza, who's off on the first corner. He's losing places and possibly might have picked up some damage from what I saw in the background. Toya leads. Charlotte in second place. Ribs Racing third. Claudio's got involved. In an instant, he's tumbling down the order, down into 10th place. Mr. Quota making up places already. Up into 6th. There's someone off in the background again. I think that's Rav who's gone straight on. At turn number 6. And he's off. Toya already with a 1.3 second advantage after the first few corners. And it doesn't seem that anything too drastic happened behind. And Toya's just in a brilliant position. Had a great start. Spitfire Boy's up to 4th. Going side by side with Magic. But he's got Mr. Quota on the inside. And they may go 3 wide here as Albin trying to find a way through. There's contact. He's onto the grass. After he's made a little bit of contact with with Magic in front of him. Now side by side with Spitfire Boy. As they both went off at Spoon. Here comes Mr. Quota. The Alpine pulls the inside into 130R, and he gets that move done, trying to get through the field as quickly as he can. He's now got Magic in front of him. There's contact again, seemingly, as he tries to squeeze a way through, and he does so. We get about 2 frames through that corner, which is absolutely lovely. But he's got himself up into 4th place, getting past Magic and Spitfire Boy there. And now, that's in the background. Limwater and Ayan going side by side in turn 1 as the Alpine moves past into P7. Spitfire Boy a little bit offline. Ayan's going to be trying to find any little opportunity to squeeze his way past the McLaren up in front of him because he doesn't want to lose too much time as Mr. Quota goes surging his way through the field. Mr. Quota, who's already up into P4, having started down at the back of the field. Had a good start so far to be up into that position, but he needs to keep going. Just needs to keep his head down and can't take anything for granted, because he's still a long way behind that leading pack. Or not the leading pack, but he's still a long way behind Toya, up in the race lead. Championship leader now is Mr. Quota. He's just about clinging on to being within a second of Ribs Racing. He won't be close enough to make a move on this occasion, but he may be able to think about it on the next lap. It just depends how much he can gain through the corners, through the middle sector. And he is going to get the DRS, which I don't think the same can be said for Ribs Racing, which indeed, Ribs Racing does not have DRS. Mr. Quota does. And so they pull, within a second, the opportunity's on. Here comes Ayan, trying to go for a double on the inside. Magic squeeze him onto the grass. Is there room there for Ayan to go through? There's not in the end. He's got squeezed by Magic on the inside. There's contact. The Spitfire boy goes spinning off through turn number 3. There's contact with Magic between the two of them. Coming to blows. Spitfire boy's down to 10th. From where he started up in 6th. Challenging Magic for the place. And I imagine Ayan won't be too happy with the Mercedes either, with the defence he saw down into turn 1. But the other Alpine now is on the attack as well, and he seems to have got a better exit there. Does he have the opportunity to squeeze past into Spoon Curve? He's going to try and go right the way around the outside, which becomes the inside line, but he doesn't need that. But because by the time they get to the corner, he's already ahead. As off in the background goes Ribs Racing, wide at Spoon, and might have just fallen out of the DRS within one corner of being overtaken. Mr. Quota now will be obviously pushing to try and get back into that DRS of Shard in front of him. I think he is just about going to do so, sitting at about 9/10 of a second as they head around the final corner. He is in with a perfect opportunity to set up a move in a fairly similar place to what he just did to Ribs Racing. I don't like the frame drops I get on the main straight, because I had it in Spain as well. But here comes Ayan, round the outside of Magic, and I think he's got that move done. He can't really see the cars as he goes swooping round into turn 2 this time. He's going to have to back out of it. I don't know why it's turn 1. I just get a lag spike. What causes a lag specifically at turn 1? Nowhere else on the track, just turn 1. I drop frames. Every time. It's probably something stupid like whenever a car crosses the line. Mr. Quota's not being able to stay that close to Sheldon this lap. It's interesting. He's lost half a second, but then Mr. Quota must have made a mistake through Sector 1 somewhere. But then Charlotte's been losing a lot of time to Toya as well, so I don't know what's going on there for either of them. Clearly something's been going on, but it's quite hard to tell what when you didn't see it. Sammy went off at some point around that lap. He's now fallen behind Spitfire Boy down into P10 instead. I don't know where these lag spikes come from on the main, on the main straight and on the main straight only. I don't get it when I'm driving. It's only spectating, and it's only when I'm off board. It's really weird. But Ayan there finally gets the move done on Magic as he moves around, takes the place before the corner, and he's up into P5. And what can he do to reel in the cars in front of him? It's a 3.5 second gap, and he's got a whole 22 laps in which to close that gap. And all of these guys still very close to one another. I think on this occasion, Mr. Quota might just be close enough to go for the move, but Charlotte has a lot more battery than the Alpine. So she's not going to make it easy. She's not going to give up that place unless she absolutely has to. Liam Wilder right on the back. Oh! Okay, that's an Alpine going right the way off in front I just got jump scared by N. I just switched to Limb Water and suddenly there was just an N. That's N going off. Through Spoon. He gets back past Claudio. But he's sitting there. Down in P7 now. As Magic's tries to play the DRS game, I think, and it's not worked because Limb Water's got the DRS, and now he should be able to maintain that 5th place, which he took from Magic into the last corner. And now Limb Water, in that 5th place, should be able to pull away. It's lap 6 of 27 at this stage. Mr. Quota still unable to find a way past the Aston Martin up in front of him. That's blocking him and paving the way perfectly for Toya, who's just opening up that gap further. It's now 4.6 seconds. Ooh, it's a slide on the exit for Mr. Quota. He's getting a little bit eager on the throttle, I think. Because he's not really able to do anything against the Aston Martin in front of him, who's got that bit more battery. It is difficult to overtake at Suzuka. You definitely need a substantial pace advantage, because you need to be close enough that the DRS actually does something. Sitting at 0.2 of a second this time, we'll see whether he can make it work on this occasion. But he goes a little bit too deep into the chicane, and Charlotte gets a much better exit, and is going to stay with the Aston Martin ahead as Ayan and Claudio look to engage in battle through the last couple of corners. I think Ayan should have more than enough to move past, as he has DRS, and he moves past on the inside into turn 1. And gets past Claudio. And up into that 7th place. Can he get close back up to Magic? I'm not sure. I mean, Liam Water at this stage is... I don't know if he's gaining to... the cars in front. So, yeah, everything at this stage is settling down. Mr. Quota unable to pass Charlotte. Toya stretching out that gap in the lead. This will be an interesting battle between the two of them, because Mr. Quota is so clearly faster. But he just can't do anything with it. He's completely stuck behind the car in front of him. And where will the overtaking opportunity be? That's the question. Because there's no obvious answer to that question. Oh, has Magic gone off through Sector 1? Yes, he has. Magic's had an off on the exit of 2 into 3. Losing time, losing places, down into 8th place. And Mr. Quota is practically pushing Charlotte through these corners. But there just isn't a way past. And he's a lot closer on this occasion. He's not quite got the opportunity into the final chicane. But if he can set up the exit, there's a little bit of contact as he tries to find the way past. He loses the rear on the exit, and that probably is what's cost him that opportunity to take second place. He was right there with the chance, but that slide and the battery that Charlotte has saved up was enough to keep her ahead for the time being. A&'s in for an early stop off those mediums onto a set of the hards. .5 seconds now, the gap. Oh, someone's gone off the wall. That's Mr. Quota! He's gone off. I think he's not hit anything, unlike what it sounded like. And I assume he just hit the curb at turn number 8. And he's gone off. And he's lost even more time, a further 5 seconds or so. He's in some deep trouble now as Mr. Quota. Surely he's got to make an early stop to try and cover it. And he's not got damage, but he just got bottled up behind Charlotte for so long. Yeah, into the pit lane comes Mr. Quota. He's down in 4th place, was P2 before, was P3, sorry, before that mistake. It was definitely with a good shot of P2. It still does have one. He's going for another set of medium. Mr. Quota's going for the 2-stop. That's really interesting. Because the conventional strategy at this circuit is to go for a second set of the hard, and then you can go to the end. But he's going for a 2-stop. He's gone for another medium. Has Mr. Quota. Another set of the medium tyres that he hopes is going to take him another 10 laps or so, and then stick on a soft to the end. Is that the plan? He's doing a medium soft? I don't know. Chaz has gone for a set of the softs. Someone's gone off through the deadness there. And Mr. Quota's going to come out in traffic. He's got Sammy and Spitfire Boy just in front of him. The pair of them look to be maybe having a bit of a battle. I'm not sure whether they actually are at this stage or whether they're just close to each other on track. And Mr. Quota's close right up to them. He's going to want to clear them as soon as possible, possibly even on the exit of Spoon Curve as he gets right up behind Sammy, gets on the dirty air, and it puts him onto the curb. But is he close enough on this occasion? I'm still not sure. He's not found the opportunity to go past just yet. He's got his teammate 4 seconds behind him on the 1-stop. There's no opportunity through for Mr. Quota just yet. He'll get the exit and will breeze around the outside of Sammy, who comes into the pit lane. Is he close enough to go for Spitfire Boy? I don't think so, unless he sends an almighty lunge into turn 1, which he can't really do at Suzuka. He has gone for it. You can't see it because there's about 2 frames at turn 1. But he's gone for the move, moved up into P5. Spitfire Boy did go off the track in doing so. So Mr. Quota now in P5. What can he do? And you'd imagine he'll set the fastest lap of the race in a few laps' time. And if he can just close up to basically the pit window, he'll be in a very interesting position. He has to 2-stop, is the thing. There's no 2 ways about it. He is 2-stopping in this race. No matter what happens, he is on for the 2-stop. Which it'll just be really interesting to see. Like, can he make it work? Riz raising a sped in the pit lane. It's a 10-second time penalty. And that's really going to unravel his race. You'd imagine he'll be undercut by Mr. Quota. who sets the fastest lap of the race with a 129.8, does move ahead of Risk Racing, who's about 3 seconds behind where Charlotte was. The thing with this two-stop for Mr. Quota is if he's still bottled behind Charlotte, what's the point? He needs to get ahead of Charlotte here. And at the moment, the gap's about 21 seconds. I don't think it'll be close, whether he comes out ahead or behind. And so it'll be really intriguing where they come out. Because obviously if Charlotte's ahead of him, then his two-stop basically just isn't going to work. But Charlotte's... that's Chelsea, sorry, who's just gone around the last couple of corners. You'd imagine Toya and Charlotte will come in either this lap or the next for a set of the hard to take them to the end of the race. Toya's going to go one more. Now Charlotte is in a really interesting position. She comes into the pit lane off those medium tyres. And with Mr. Quota sitting just under... It's going to be really close. He's around 20 seconds now. I think... As Mr. Quota gets a 3-second time penalty, I think he's going to be ahead as they come across the line. And indeed, Mr. Quota is ahead of Charlotte coming out of the pit lane, which is the main thing he would have wanted to achieve, but he's going to have to pit again, is the only thing. He's got to open up that gap as much as he can, and then hope it'll be fine once he pits. He needs to pit again, and I think all he's done is just kick his problems further down the road. He could very likely come out of the pits for the final time, or the second and final time, and be behind Charlotte again. The only difference is that then he would have a tyre advantage, which would definitely help him, considering how much he was clearly faster in that first stint. But now when it will be faster because of the pace difference and faster because of, you know, the because of the tyre advantage, he should then be able to go past. Toys into the pit lane, which promotes Liam Wilder to the race lead. And Toy is still comfortably leading this one ahead of Mr. Quota, who does also have that 3-second time penalty, bear in mind. Four seconds is the gap to Charlotte already. He might have enough at this stage, I don't know. He's got to make another pit stop. It's the important factor. Also depends how much time Toya might lose behind Lim Wilder, because that one will be an interesting thing to follow. Spitfire Boy comes in. 4 is out of the hards. Sammy's gone onto the softs, which very much won't take him to the end. As we've just passed half race distance in this one. Not been the most thrilling, especially not compared to last week. But maybe we'll see some action in the last few laps. Maybe it's just been a slow burner. And sits P6 at this stage. He's just not able to get past Risk Racing in front of him, who's also then in a train with Charlotte. So they're all just sitting one behind the other with no real progress being made. And look at them, just the three of them, sitting in a little train. And they're the only drivers three. Oh, going off there, that's Ayan. In the dirty air. But you'd imagine he can close back up. Yeah, these three, the only ones sitting in DRS. As Toya, as I say that, has now caught up to Liam Wilder. What can you do with that? I don't know. I can't see too much happening from this. And he'll just go past. Liam's probably going to be in this lap. If not. No, he's either going to be in this lap or the next. He's not going to fight Toya too hard with the massive tyre difference that there is. In comes the V-Carb. Into the lead goes the Red Bull. And Toya resumes the place that he rightfully took in qualifying. Mr. Quota now P2. Is he pulling away enough to make a difference? It's only 4 seconds. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm not sure if he's pulling away enough. Mr. Quota could be in trouble. He's going to need some electric pace at the end if he really wants to benefit from this strategy. So you saw where Liam Wilder came out. Mr. Quota is going to be about 5-6 seconds further back from that. And Liam Wilder's on a new set of mediums. I just can't see it. I cannot see it working for Mr. Quota at this stage. Unless you get a late safety car. Which would be his only saving grace in this Grand Prix. As Toy has just lapped Chazza, I believe. Indeed, he has done. No, he's not. He's not lapped Chazza just yet. But he's going to. Chaz will go a lap down soon. As I say that, Chazza has retired from the race. It is hard to keep focus in this. There isn't all that much going on. As Liam Wilder's moved past Claudio up into P6. He's going to pull away. He's got the DRS. In towards turn 1 he goes. Can he gain the 10 seconds to the train in front of him? And it's possible. It's not the likeliest. But the possibility's there. I don't know how fast they're actually going. He is on new tyres, but his tyre advantage is only going to get smaller as the race goes on. Bear that in mind. He's gaining time. I'm just not sure if he's gaining enough. He's got to gain so much time on those in front of him for anything to be able to happen. And he's just sitting in P6. It's really a bit of a no man's land. It's not as bad as Mr. Quota, though, who seems to already be struggling on those mediums. That aren't very old at all. Yeah, Mr. Quota's in a lot of trouble, isn't he? There's only a 3-second gap between him and Charlotte. He's going to be behind where Liam is. He definitely started on mediums, didn't he? I'm not being silly. Yeah. He's used 2 mediums so far, as has Claudio. Claudio's also on a 2-stop here. There's no way Claudio makes it to the end. Is that a 6-second time penalty for Mr. Quota? It is! It's 6 seconds for Mr. Quota. And Liam Wilder could be on for a P4 here, at the minimum. Because he's gonna benefit from the 10 seconds of Rivs Racing. Here comes Ian, trying to go past the Red Bull, sends it on the inside of the chicane, and he's gonna get that move done. He'll get the DRS, from which he can close back up to Charlotte. And into the pit lane comes Mr. Quota, putting on a set of the hard tyres. Which won't really be fast enough for him to gain any significant time at all. Limbourg are now net P4. Thanks to the 10 second of Rivs Racing. Is there anything he can do with it? No. Can he go further? It's a further 2.5 seconds to Ian, but Ian's been on those tyres for an awfully long time. And Toya looks set for a very comfortable victory at this stage, being 12 seconds clear. With Charlotte P2, Ian 2 seconds behind that. Top 3, I think, is pretty much secured at this stage. I can't really see it changing, as Mr. Quota now goes past Magic at the hairpin of turn 11. He's not far behind Claudio, who's got to stop again as well. Here comes Mr. Quota, and he's going to move past, long before the corner, before 130R. Gives up the DRS in doing so. But the idea is that he'll be far enough ahead that by the time they get to the DRS zone, it doesn't matter, which is indeed what has happened, as Claudio came into the pit lane anyway. So Mr. Quota now up into P6. But with that 6 second time penalty, I can't realistically see him going anywhere beyond that. Maybe he can close up enough to Rivs Racing, but it's hard to see that one either. P6 might be the best that Mr. Quota can do. Toy looks set to win this one. What am I saying? Toya looks set to retake the championship lead after this one. Which he lost in the last race. He's 5 points behind in the championship. Looks to be swinging that to a fairly decent advantage, possibly around the 10-point region. Maybe even more. He's in a very comfortable position. Rivs Racing isn't close enough to do anything to aim, and with the 10-second bounty he has, it wouldn't matter anyway. Liam Wilder's just hoping to cling on into that 10-second window of those in front. Yeah, these gaps just all staying much as they have been for an awfully long time. Is Toy going for fastest lap? I think he might be. Did I see a purple middle sector? And he said a personal best lap. Wasn't faster than what Mr. Quota's done. 3 tenths off. With a 130.1. Compared to the fastest lap of 29.8. Lim Boada's second closest, 29.9. Yeah. Ridge Racing's gone past Ayan. Up into P3. But with the 10-second time penalty, that one's not going to matter in the end. Lim Boada falling behind. Might not take that P4 in the end. He needs to find a bit more time if he wants to. I think Ridge Racing's now pulling away. Ayan's tyres will be past their best for sure. But yeah, really seems to be no change at this stage. It's not been the most exciting one in the end, unfortunately. There's one gap that's close in the entire field, and that's Ayan to Ridge Racing. And even that's not close, because of the 10-second. Which, because it's for speeding, is basically never going to be removed, because the game's almost always right. Ayan does go past. Up into P3. And Magic's into the pit lane. We'll hope to use a tyre advantage to get back past Claudio, but... Yeah, so Magic comes out of the pit lane. About 3.5-4 seconds behind Claudio. He'll be on much... he'll be on much fresher tyres, but I doubt that will be enough. Who knows, really? Ridge Racing's fallen out of the DRS of Ayan. Lim Boada sits about 7.5 seconds behind him. Here's lap 24 of 27. 3 to go at the end of this one. Rab, I think, has disconnected. So he has. He pressed the wrong button and his PlayStation turned off. Which seems rather unfortunate. There's some fireworks going off outside, that's pretty cool. I wonder if I could see them. Probably shouldn't take my eyes off the screen. Fireworks are cool, I like fireworks. Ridge Racing's back roughly within the second. He's sort of hovering around it. Liam Wilder at 7.3. He's got Mr. Quota that's just caught up to him. But Mr. Quota's going to need to gain a lot more if he wants to do anything other than take the P5 on track. He's going to need 6 seconds gained over these next few laps. As yeah, I don't know why turn 1's so horrible. I don't know. Don't know what causes that. And it really sucks because I don't like it. I don't like that. That being said, and Toya's getting closer and closer to that race victory. He's going to go on to the penultimate lap next time around, with Charlotte set to take P2, Ayan on course for P3, Liam Wilder P4, then we Rivs Racing P5, Mr. Quota P6 as things stand. Penultimate lap of the race now for Toya, and it's been so controlled. Don't think there's a single thing to criticise him for this entire evening, really. So 3-second time penalty for Samuel Sasso, but the final lap is going to begin rather shortly. And it's going to be Toya who leads us around it. Who's going to win the Japanese Grand Prix? He's got a 17-second advantage at this stage over Charlotte. And he probably hasn't been pushing for an awfully long time. He's got half his battery left if he fancies doing anything fun on the last lap. But off he goes. Rivs Racing still on the back of Ayan, fighting for that third on track. Won't matter, really. So Mr. Quote is getting closer, though. You know what? There's a chance. If Mr. Quota can get within 4 seconds of Rivs Racing, he needs to gain a second on the final lap. But if he can do so, he will take that P5 in the end. And I think Rivs Racing knows that, because he's going past A and sends it up the inside into turn 2. And that could have been bad for both of their races. The contact there could have ruined them both. Could have stuck Liam Wilder up into a podium place. As it is, Toya takes us round the hairpin of turn 11. Set for a very, very comfortable victory here. Hasn't misstepped this entire evening at all, really. He only needed 2 runs in qualifying, only needed 1. Went for the second anyway. And he's on course to regain the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Mr. Quota's within 4 seconds of AM. It's not going to be enough. Just a gap to Rivs Racing. Toya comes around the last corner to win the Japanese Grand Prix. With a huge, huge margin out front. 17.5 seconds to Charlotte, who's going to come home in P2. Does he have enough? I don't think it's not going to be enough in the end for Mr. Quota to deny that place from Rivs Racing, who comes home third on the road. It's going to be Ayan who takes that podium place. Liam Wilder going to be 4th from the back of the field. Rivs Racing P5. Mr. Quota P6 after that 6-second time penalty is really what cost him, and the 2-stop strategy as well. Magic going to be P7. Or it will be close, in fact, with Claudio, who might just have run out of fuel at the last corner. And that's where he loses. 7th place. It's an unfortunate way to end for Claudio. Could have been P7. Runs out of fuel at the line. Spitfire Boy gets P9. And Sammy will be the final car. Rounding off the finishers and the points. Paying positions. Apparently Charlotte's won the race now, so I guess that's the official. Toya's left the session. Yeah, so just don't trust the race results. Ain't got a puncture in the last lap. Oh, that's lucky. He got... Oh yeah, Charlotte won the race now, guys. Obviously. Yeah, race winner just isn't Charlotte, though. And I imagine cleanest driver was Toya, and he's left the session, so it didn't give him. Yeah, race winner was very much not Charlotte. Ain't got a puncture on the last lap. Wow. Charlotte didn't win the race. We know who won. Mr. minus 17 seconds race time. A very well-deserved victory for Toya. And here he takes the lead of the championship heading into round number 8. We've just reached, what was that, 2/3 of the, or going into 2/3 of the season, sorry, after the next race, which is in Zandvoort. In 1 week's time, will be the